What up, mathletes? Whoop, whoop. All right, let's do this. Let's look at the learning target. I will find measures of angles using complementary and supplementary angles. I will find measures of angles using complementary and supplementary angles. Super long. Should be 2 P's, right? Yeah, supplementary angles. Wow. All right, well, let's get into this. Take a minute, fill in the warm-up. Pause me if you need to. Okay, I'm going to assume you paused it, tried it. Let's do it. Find the measure of angle APB. I have the angle APB. Okay. Well, I know that APC is 90 degrees. And how do I know that APC is 90 degrees? Let me get that. No, this is 90 degrees. How do I know that? Because AF is 180 degrees, and we see it's 90 right here. That thing tells me it's 90, that little right angle, which means, let me go ahead and zoom in on that so you can see a little better. That's 90 degrees, then 90 plus 90 is 180, right? And then here's what else I know. Based upon these markings, I have an arc here and an arc here that tells me that these are the same angle measure, which means if I take 90 degrees and divide it by 2, I get 45 degrees, which is the measure of angle APB. These are each going to be 45 because they're the same angle measure, which means they were bisected in half by PB. It's an angle bisector. And therefore, there we go. Yeah, a little bit of problem solving involved in this one. You got to watch out quick. All right, find the measure of angle APC. Probably should have done that first. Angle APC is 90 degrees. How do we know that? Again, this is 90 degrees, and since the whole thing's 180 minus 90 equals 90. Right? So that's how we get 90 degrees. What kind of angle is angle BPD? Let's see. BPD. I would say acute. It's less than 90 degrees, which we can prove that in a minute. I should probably do this in order. Angle 2, or number 2, I didn't realize I was going out of order here, but let's look at number 2 over here. Find the measure of FPD. So let's look at that. FPD. Well, here's what I know. I have 2 arcs right here and 2 arcs right here, which tell me these angles are the same. So since this is 35, this is 35. And the whole angle right here is going to be, from here to here, right? It's going to be 35 plus 35, or 70 degrees. Boosh, right there. Okay, and if that's 70 degrees, here's what I know. Let's go to, we went to 3, let's go to 4. It says name all the obtuse angles. Obtuse, remember, is greater than 90 degrees. So we have, that's exactly 90 degrees. Then I can go, all right, APD, right? APD, that's greater than 90 degrees. So angle APD, angle APE, and angle AP, well, that's a line, but I'm going to do odd, it has to be greater than 90, but less than 180, I believe. So now I'm going to go this way. How about FPB? Angle FPB. All right, and it says what kind of an angle is angle, for number 5, is angle BPD. So that's, just highlighting that in blue, BPD. Well, let's find out. Depends on what the measure of angle CPD is. We got to find out what this thing is right here, okay? So to find out what that is, I know these two add up to 70, and this is 90 degrees, so what's 90 minus 70? It's 20. So that's 20, and let's add these together. 20 plus 45 is 65. 65 is less than 90, so what kind of an angle is it? It is acute. It's less than 90 degrees, okay? There we go. That's kind of challenging, so just keep that in mind. We'll talk through it. If you need to, have questions. All right, let's go to the vocab. Oh, we got complementary angles, which is two angles with measures that have sum of 90 degrees. So complementary add to 90 degrees. Supplementary, same thing, except they add to 180 degrees. And perpendicular means they intersect at right angles. In other words, they intersect at exactly 90 degrees. One way to help you with complementary and supplementary, C comes before S, 90 numerically comes before 180, so complementary goes with 90, supplementary goes with 180 degrees. Awesome. Pause this if you need to. We're going to move on with this show. Okay, let's fill in this table right here. So again, what are complementary angles definition-wise? It's just two angles that add to 180. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, complementary is 90 degrees. What was I thinking? Two angles that add to 90 degrees. Supplementary, same thing, except for 180. Two angles that add to 180 degrees. Perfect. Now, let's talk about examples of non-adjacent angles. So these two angles right here, notice they're not adjacent. They're not touching each other. There's no common side or common vertex, right? Common endpoint. But if I look at them, what's 30 plus 60? 30 degrees plus 60 degrees is 90 degrees. So these are complementary. And what we know is the measure of angle JKL, that's this angle right here, JKL, plus the measure of angle ABC, right? ABC equals 90 degrees. And we know that again because of over here, 30 plus 60 degrees equals 90 degrees. All right, let's look over here again at another example of non-adjacent angles. What can I say? I can say that the measure of angle DEF plus the measure of angle GHJ equals 180 degrees. How do I know that? Because 110 degrees plus 70 degrees equals 180 degrees. Boom. So those are non-adjacent examples. Complementary angles don't have to be adjacent, neither do supplementary. Linear pairs have to be, linear pairs are supplementary, but they have to be adjacent. That's what we talked about in the last lesson. Okay? So, let's talk about examples of adjacent angles. We see these two adjacent angles, and what can I tell here? The measure of angle QRS plus the measure of angle SRT equals 90 degrees. And I know that because QRS is 67 degrees plus 23 degrees is equal to 90 degrees. And I could also use this sign right here. If you ever see that little squared block off sign like we did in our warm-up, that means 90 degrees or right angle. Over here, I'm going to say, all right, the measure of angle UVW plus the measure of angle WVX equals 90 degrees. Again, I know that works. Ah, man, I wrote 90. I'm so used to writing 90. 180 degrees. My gracious. And how do I know that? First, let's get that out of the way. I know that because 135 degrees plus 45 degrees equals 180 degrees. Boom, right there. Good stuff. So again, two angles that add to 90 degrees are complementary. Two angles that add to 180 are supplementary. Okay?